Hi, little guy. It was really fun looking at your picture today and hearing you talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. Someday, I want you to tell me what you were saying, okay? Because your mom and I could guess, but we might not be 100% right. And boy, did you have things to say. I'm wondering if you started when we were talking about the Israeli-Palestinian problem. I'm wondering if that's when your vocalizations increased. I think there may be a solution there. Well, I decided to change it up a bit and read another kind of book, one on math. And this one is on big numbers. Excuse me, Gabby's eating her fifth meal of the day. I'll be right back. Guess what, Gabby? That's not yours, sweetie pie. Sorry, you don't get any more. Okay, sorry about that long delay. The book is called Millions, Billions, and Trillions Understanding Big Numbers by David A. Adler, illustrated by Edward Miller. This is interesting. I looked at a little bit of this yesterday. A lot of grown-ups have a hard time with understanding big numbers, and this is a book to help them do that in ways that help you conceptualize certain things. It begins 1 million, which looks like this, as you so well know, a 1 with 6 zeros. It's 1,000 thousands. It's written with 1 and 6 zeros. So what does a million look like? Here's the picture of people painting on the side of a building. 1 million burgers sold, because when McDonald's first opened, they had that on all of their stores. And I was a little kid then, and you would look up at this signs and talk about it. We talked about that a lot when we were in the car with my friends and neighbors, and what that meant, how many million burgers they had sold, 2.3 million, etc. So here's a way to conceptualize this. Get a bag of granulated sugar, a measuring cup with a 1/4 mark on it, and a piece of dark construction paper. Fill the cup with sugar to the 1/4 mark, so a 1/4 cup of sugar. Then carefully spill the sugar from the cup onto the construction paper. You couldn't easily count each granule of sugar on the paper. You are looking at about 1 million granules of sugar. I didn't know that. In a 1/4 cup of sugar. And here's the picture. 1/4 cup. That's interesting. I didn't know that. My teacher in elementary school, she was asking us these questions once in my 5th and 6th grade class. And she said, she asked us how many million, I think, hairs would it be on your head? Would it be in a cardboard box? Would it fill that auditorium that we were in? 1 million hairs on your head. And I think it was a surprising amount, like the auditorium. When she showed us how to figure it out too, which was very interesting. How many slices of pizza would $1 million buy? At $2.50 a slice, you could buy 2 full pies a day for more than 68 years. So $1 million would buy 2, if it's $2.50 a slice, and I guess there's 6 slices in a pizza, you could buy 2 full pies a day for more than 68 years. Could you count to 1,000,000? If you count at a rate of one number a second without stopping, how long do you think it would take? Grown-ups listening, take a guess. It would take you a little more than 11 and a half days to reach 1,000,000. That's a long time. I actually thought it would be longer than that. 1,000,000 is a lot. It's a lot of pizzas. 2 full pizzas a day for 68 years? Whoa. When people talk about the population of large cities and countries, they often talk in millions. How many people do you think live in New York City? Take a guess. Grown-ups in the room. More than 8 million people live in New York City. How many do you think live in the state of California? More than 37 million people live in California. How about in the whole United States? More than 300 million people live in the United States. See, these are numbers that are pretty basic, and yet a lot of adults wouldn't know that. I didn't remember how many people were in the United States, or in California, or in New York City. 5, 37, and 300 million. 1,000,000,000 is a lot more than 1,000,000. How much is 1,000,000,000? 1,000,000,000 is 1,000 millions. It's written like this: 1 with 3, 3, and 3, or 9 zeros all together. Run your fingers through your hair. The average head has 100,000 hairs. It would take the heads of 10,000 people together to have about 1,000,000,000 hairs. 10,000 people. That's a lot of people and a lot of heads of hair. How many ice cream sundaes would $1 billion buy? At $5 a sundae, you could buy 1,000 sundaes every day for more than 500 years with $1 billion. Could you count to 1,000,000,000? Probably not. If you count at a rate of one number per second without stopping, it would take you almost 32 years to count to 1,000,000,000. And do you remember how long to count to 1,000,000? 11 days. 1,000,000,000 is a lot. Many years ago, the world's richest people were said to be millionaires. This is back to the Sunday page. Many years ago, the world's richest people were said to be millionaires. Now, they're said to be billionaires. Someone with $1 billion could give away $10 million every year for 100 years. So we're going to stop here, and we'll resume this next time when we read. But thank you so much for sharing this book with me, my little guy. And now I'm just going to talk to you for a second. You were so talkative before. You were just talking up a storm. And your mom and I were just talking to ourselves, and you were talking, and it was great fun. And then your mom and I said, grenouille, grenouille, grenouille. And we pictured you laughing and laughing when you hear the word grenouille, grenouille. Well, it's getting late, so I'm going to sign off, but I wanted to tell you I love you to bits, and I'll talk to you soon, little guy. Okay, bye-bye. Have a nice night. I love you, sweetie pie. I love you, sweetie pie. I love you, sweetie pie. Bye-bye.